What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Double G Gaming, and I thought I'd do something new that I haven't done in like 2 years since the Chewy and Junior podcast, done like a podcast type video for you guys, and I would like to expand on this, like in future episodes. I'll make this episode 2. Actually, I don't know what episode this would be. I'll decide and put it in the title. But for now, I'm going to keep it to just wrestling talk. Maybe not just WWE even. Maybe some other stuff in the works. I'm not really a big indie fan or anything like that. But maybe with WWE being as terrible as it is, maybe I will in the coming year. Who knows? I will be watching Wrestle Kingdom 13, is it? I don't know. But whatever. I'll be watching that after the fact. I won't be watching it live. I don't even know what time it's coming on if I did watch it live. So let me just run down some of the things that I'll be talking about in this episode. There's not really much that I can talk about like I did in the previous one with just the TLC predictions. But I'm recording this at around 4:30 on December 29th. So whenever you're catching this, thanks for listening. So let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff. Let me actually run down what I will be talking about in this video. Maybe I'll leave some of this stuff out, but this is mainly what I'm going to be talking about. I don't know how long this episode is going to be, but yeah, let's go. We'll be mentioning some stuff with SmackDown, Mustafa Ali, John Cena, The Club, and Rusev. And then from over on Raw, we'll be mentioning Breezango and the women's tag titles, and this upcoming episode of Raw, New Year's Eve, and some of the spoilers that I've heard and seen online. If you don't want to see that, I'll tell you when I'm going to start reviewing that, and then you can just skip ahead. But yeah. So actually, let's start with Mustafa Ali and his big push that he's been getting on SmackDown. So most people have actually have been fine with this Mustafa Ali thing on SmackDown, and for some reason I can't get behind it. It's probably because he's like a smaller guy taking on like the big stars, quote unquote, from SmackDown, like Daniel Bryan and Andrade Cien Almas. He's pinned both of them in the last 2 weeks, and if it was anybody else, like literally anybody else, I could see myself getting behind it. But why Mustafa Ali out of all the cruiserweights? That's the weirdest guy that you would think they would push. If you told me a month ago even that Mustafa Ali was going to be facing Daniel Bryan or pinning Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, I'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Why would he be on the show, first of all? And second of all, there's no way they would give him that type of push. Getting a pin on Daniel Bryan. And then he also beat Andrade Cien Almas. That's the push that Andrade Cien Almas should be getting, if we were being honest, not Mustafa Ali. Andrade Cien Almas should turn face and be pinning Daniel Bryan. But yeah, I don't understand this push that Mustafa Ali is getting out of nowhere, and I hope they kind of just bring him down a little bit into the mid-card level. He's a fine talent, but I just don't see why people think he's as good as he's not. Did you check this out? On over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Thursday, there was a screenshot of some NXT talent at a Madison Square Garden show, and it had, actually, let me take a look, but for the most part, I kind of know who it was. It was Matt Riddle, Pete Dunne, Velveteen Dream, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, The Undisputed Era, and Tommaso Ciampa. I think it was a 5-man or 10-man tag team match. And people were saying that it was so much talent in one ring. And I had to agree with that. At first I was talent, I don't know about all that. But then I looked at every single one of them by themselves, and I was they could be big stars. If not big stars, top spot guys in the mid card, like a Dolph Ziggler or Maybe like a Dean Ambrose. That top, like, good but not that great. The weakest guy will probably be like Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, but they could probably do something with them on WWE. And like the biggest star, if they book him right, could be Matt Riddle. I mean, just looking at him, he's like the biggest guy in the ring, and he just has like, I don't know, just something about him that I like. And his theme song is catchy as fuck. But yeah, I really enjoyed that screenshot. I didn't really get it at first, but then I kept looking at it and I was like, oh my god, the WWE has this much talent. Like, if they don't fuck them over, these could be 10 guys. They have 10 guys. Just think about that. Right now, people are complaining about how shit the product is, but in one night, they put 10 guys in a ring on a live event that could all take over. No pun intended. They could take over the WWE for the next 10 years if they wanted to. And they all have them contracted to their company. Like, there's nothing stopping them from using these guys as well as they could be. So, hope for the best for those guys. And hopefully WWE does something with them moving forward. Speaking of 10 years plus of taking over the WWE, we learned that John Cena was going to be coming to SmackDown on New Year's Day to promote, I have no idea what. But John Cena is going to be appearing on SmackDown, and he could be possibly challenging for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble against Daniel Bryan. Almost like back 2017 when he came back on New Year's Day or something like that, or Christmas, and he challenged AJ Styles, and they built that feud from there. But yeah, besides John Cena, I don't know who else could be challenging for the championship at the Royal Rumble. I mean, they could just put John Cena, with The Miz being like stuck with this Shane McMahon stuff. I have no idea what that's about, first of all. But with The Miz being stuck with that, I kind of thought that they were going to do like a triple threat with AJ Styles and The Miz at the Royal Rumble. But now, and also after like AJ Styles doing that stuff with Vince backstage, hitting him and whatnot, I don't know who Daniel Bryan could face at the Royal Rumble. They need guys for the actual Royal Rumble match, and then for the WWE Championship, I cannot see them putting Mustafa Ali in that match at that pay-per-view. He's not a big enough star to headline a match with Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. But John Cena and AJ Styles, maybe even Shinsuke Nakamura, actually, now that he lost the U.S. Championship. But they'll probably want to put him in the Rumble to kind of add more star power to that, kind of have like another guy that has previously won the Rumble match in the actual Rumble this year. So they probably won't give him the championship match. But maybe they'll do like an AJ Styles versus John Cena match, #1 contendership. Winner goes to face Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. And maybe they can get rid of Mustafa Ali out of the main event picture by having him face Daniel Bryan for the title and then having him lose and then go down to the mid-card on SmackDown. And then either John Cena or AJ Styles, or maybe even still a triple threat match at the Royal Rumble. Maybe a fatal four-way Shinsuke Nakamura. I kind of like that he lost the championship because this kind of opens up more things for him. There has been talk of him leaving, and I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't really mind if he left, just because of how bad WWE treats their talent. Like, sure, I would like him to stay and be used well, but if he's not going to, fuck the company, just leave, go back to New Japan, and put on tremendous matches while you still have your youth, so to speak. But yeah, they could also be taking away the title from Shinsuke to boost him up again into the main event feuds. If Vince wants to keep him employed with him, he's like, all right, don't leave us, and we'll give you a big push again. And maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe a fatal four-way. I think one of those three guys, or all of them, or two of them, or whatever, could be facing Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble for the title. Shinsuke Nakamura, John Cena, or AJ Styles, or all of them. Also, I was on the YouTube page going to something different, and I saw that Breezango had like this weird YouTube show I think it was like the Fashion Files. That was the name of it. And it was kind of like what's the word for it? Like a longer version of the little clips that they do on WWE, like on what they used to do on SmackDown when they were finding out who. I actually have no idea what they were actually trying to find in those Fashion File episodes from 2017. What was like the big, what was the big thing that they were finding, that they were searching for? I don't even remember. But anyway, they had a show on YouTube, and it was a longer version of that, and it was trying to find out who pied Kevin Owens from that 2016 July 4th episode of Monday Night Raw. And at first it was like entertaining, and then it just kept getting, as the longer it went, the less in tune I was with it. I was just like, all right, can you just like find out who did it? And then at the end it was like The Rock. Like, could it be anybody that's not on like, why The Rock out of all people? I was expecting them to actually find somebody who did it and then like face to face with Kevin Owens, but no, it was The Rock. It was a stupid way to end it because there was no payoff, because obviously The Rock's not going to be on some stupid YouTube video for WWE right now. If he's not doing WrestleMania videos or WrestleMania appearances, he's not going to do a stupid YouTube appearance. So I have no idea why it ended with that. Either way, it was just a YouTube video, so it's not that important. But if they're going to do more of those, I just hope that they do episodes and payoffs with actual superstars that are there that would actually make it entertaining and fun to watch. And then the club had a new show on the WWE Network called The Botch Club, which is just making fun of like botches that happen in the ring and stuff like that. And it was a decent show, but at the same time, it was kind of like making corny jokes and stuff. But that's just kind of what their characters actually do, so I didn't have a problem with it. It was 11 minutes. They could make it like 20 minutes. And also, when are they going to update some of these shows that are on the WWE Network, like the WWE list and countdown videos that they have on the network? They need to make some updates to those shows because they're getting a little old. And they could generate some more subscribers maybe. And to be honest, I haven't paid for a WWE Network subscription since the Greatest Royal Rumble, which was like in April, May, something like that. Since then, I've been getting like the 99 cents for 3 months and stuff like that, and getting free months with different credit cards. So yeah, if you want free network subscriptions, search a little bit on the internet and you'll find some stuff. But yeah, and then going over to Raw. I won't talk about the spoilers because I don't really care about that. You guys can just watch the show or read the spoilers for yourself. And I don't really care. I don't really want to talk about Raw right now. Instead, I want to talk about something that makes a little bit of sense, but at the same time, if you think about it, doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm talking about the Women's Tag Team Championships. All right, so Sasha Banks and Bayley, they should be, fighting for the main belt, right? You would think that. That's what their characters are like meant. The boss, like the boss, I want to be number one, this and that, whatever. And Bayley is like the opposite of her, but is like a main character and stuff. And they want to win tag team championships? That makes no sense. And then Natalya, who just had, I think she was on Twitter, saying like, I can't wait to win them or compete for them. You were just in a match for the women's championship. Why would you want to go lower than that and go compete for the tag team titles? Like, I understand it's like people like Billie Kay and Peyton Royce or the Riot Squad or the Bella Twins. Okay, like that's fine. Nia Jax and Tamina, get her out of the title picture and stuff like that. They're never going to be world or main women's champions. So that's fine for them to compete for that. But Sasha Banks, Bayley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, as much as I hate her, Natalya, they should not be wanting to compete for tag team belts. Their main priority should be, I want the main champion, and that's the women's championship. So get these tag team championships away from me. You know what I mean? Like John Cena, Batista, Randy Orton, Triple H, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, they never, besides for like a storyline purpose, they never won the tag team championship just because they were like, ooh, let me start a team and win some tag team gold. No, they want to be main guys. They want to win the world championship. And the fact that some of these girls are going on Twitter and saying they can't wait to compete for them, it makes absolutely no sense for them to want tag team championships. Like, you guys are bigger than that. So let me know in the comments if you guys are excited to see women's tag. And also, that's another championship that's going to be defended. And if they bring them to both Raw and SmackDown, that's going to be even worse. But that's just another championship that's going to be defended at pay-per-views. And it could go from 12 matches that we saw at TLC to like 16. Or not 16, 14 if you add the tag team belts being defended. And there was only 12 without the U.S. championship. So maybe like 15 matches in one night on a random pay-per-view. Not like a WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Just a random B pay-per-view. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys are excited to see the tag team belts being brought up. I'm really not. I could care less about anything that's not the main women's title feud. And even then, sometimes I don't even care about the main women's championship storyline. So, yeah. Hopefully they do something good with it, but I doubt they will. And finally, let's talk about some Royal Rumble predictions. Some early thoughts here. The only match that has been announced, well, technically 3, but the only title match that has been announced, I believe, is Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. As of right now, I don't think I've heard of any other matches that have been announced. They tried to do that Becky Lynch versus Asuka, but they didn't think it through when they said no more title rematches, and then they announced that, and then they were like, oh wait, we have to correct that. Paige, get on Twitter and tell them that you were wrong. It was all you. It was your fault, not us. Your fault. Stupid WWE with their bullshit, but anyway. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman is the only match announced, and please either give it to Braun Strowman or Brock Lesnar keeps it. I don't even know what they can do now. Like, I really do not care. I didn't watch the last year's triple threat match with Brock Lesnar, Kane, and Braun, so I'm not gonna be watching this year with Strowman. I don't really care if he wins. Besides the fact that Brock Lesnar or the championship will be on Raw, but I doubt they're even gonna give it to him, because who does Braun Strowman face after that? Like, if Braun Strowman can beat Brock Lesnar, right, after all these times that he hasn't been able to, but if he beats Brock Lesnar, doesn't that make Braun Strowman the monster, like the one who you can't beat? So how could a guy like Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Finn Balor beat Braun Strowman? If you want to get the title off of Brock Lesnar and like into these other guys, it's gonna make no sense after they get it off of Brock Lesnar, unless it's a smaller guy. But then you also shit on Braun Strowman, which I don't really care. But Braun Strowman is technically dead already, like his character and stuff. I don't really care about him anymore. And I'm trying to pull up this Royal Rumble card, but I can't on Wikipedia. It doesn't load. So, yeah, and then obviously the women's and men's Royal Rumble matches are also announced. And my early predictions for these are going to be, all right, since they took Becky Lynch out of that Asuka match, that means they're going to put her in the Royal Rumble. Because otherwise, why cancel the match? You know what I mean? They would have just left it be untouched, let it be announced as that was the match that was going to take place. But they took her out of it, so I'm guessing they're going to put her in the Rumble. So I'm guessing she's going to have to win it, right? Her or either Charlotte. It's either going to be her or Charlotte, and they're going to face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. And then for the men's match, this is a little bit more interesting, because do you do another SmackDown winner? Since the brand split, Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura from SmackDown have won the Rumble. Are they going to have a Raw champion this time, or a Raw winner this time. You never know. So maybe I don't really have the roster in front of me, but my top 3 picks would be like Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, or Finn Balor from Raw. And then they face, I have no idea who they could face at WrestleMania, if it's Brock Lesnar or if it's Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre or Seth Rollins, I would be fine with that. But then they got to win it, because if they don't, that's just stupid again. Yeah, they have to have one of them beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has to finally lose the championship. It's been almost 2 years. Can you guys believe that? It's been almost 2 years since Brock Lesnar won the championship against Goldberg at WrestleMania. 2 years ago, we had Goldberg as the main champion on Raw. A year before he would be inducted into the Hall of Fame, before he would technically retire, we had a Goldberg as the Universal Champion. And we haven't had a full-time champion have it for more than a month since Kevin Owens, and actually for like a month and a half, whatever. Since Kevin Owens in 2016. That's really crazy to think about. And then over on SmackDown, it hasn't even been that much better, because we have AJ Styles and Jinder Mahal, the top 2 guys, or the guys that have held it the longest. And then we had transitional champions with John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton. And Daniel Bryan has finally carried it for more than a month, but the World Championship has not been that good switching hands and storyline wise, because they don't really care. They didn't really care about the storylines with AJ Styles. They were really bad. I mean, the stuff with in 2016 when he first won it, he had it from September to January. He lost it to Cena, and he was in a feud with Dean Ambrose that whole entire time. And then when he won it back against Jinder Mahal, he was in the feud with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn from December all the way to the Royal Rumble. And then it was really no feud, because it was like a 6-pack challenge the month after at Fastlane. And then the stuff with Shinsuke Nakamura was really bad. He did it for March, April, May, June. He did it for 4 months, that feud with Shinsuke Nakamura. And then a Who Cares feud with Rusev that lasted for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then the stuff with Samoa Joe was pretty bad as well. That went from SummerSlam all the way to Crown Jewel. And then he finally lost the belt to Danny Bryan. That feud with Samoa Joe was also pretty bad. And nothing good with Daniel Bryan either, except for Daniel Bryan's heel turn. But that was as exciting as that feud got. And it wasn't even his, like, it wasn't on AJ Styles' part. It was more the fact that they turned Daniel Bryan heel. And then, like I said, John Cena, Bray Wyatt, and Randy Orton all got, they were all transitional champions. They all lost it like within a month. And then Jinder Mahal, the worst champion in recent history besides Roman Reigns and Goldberg, I guess. He only had 2, technically 3, but he only faced Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura for like 9 months, 6 months, 6 to 9 months. I can't really remember. And then he loses it to AJ Styles, and then that took us to those feuds, which I just said were pretty bad. But yeah, the World Championship has not been treated well on either Raw or SmackDown. Hopefully it changes 2019. They get the main championship back on Raw, and the title changes a little bit more times on SmackDown with better feuds. And hopefully they do that. Less freaking part-timers, please, this year. I don't want to see Undertaker and Kane and Triple H in action. And also, while I'm at it, I'll talk about like the Saudi Arabia stuff. Feel free to have those shows, but please don't have storylines on TV, on like main TV, Raw and SmackDown, building the storylines up for those shows to Saudi Arabia or Australia, because those are just throwaway pay-per-views. Like, they don't really matter in the scheme of things. Is that the word for it? Scheme of things? I don't even know. But yeah, nothing is going to come out of that show. Nothing came out of Braun Strowman winning the greatest Royal Rumble and nothing came out of the Undertaker Kane versus DX stuff. So just keep the storylines away from TV. Do the shows there, but just don't even like mention it at all. You can mention it like once just to say it's gonna be on the WWE Network if you want to see it. With these matches, you know, like no storylines to them or anything, no builds. Just those matches are gonna take place. Oh shit! Thank you. I could have edit that out, but I don't really feel like it. Yeah, just don't advertise those shows on TV, and nobody's gonna have a problem with you going to Saudi Arabia. Like, just don't promote it. Nobody cares to see those shows. They were really stupid in 2018. I don't want to see them in 2019. Unless something's going to come out of it. Like, I don't mind. Actually, I do mind. I don't really want to see them go over there because it's just kind of stupid. And adds an extra pay-per-view. And speaking of pay-per-views, I'm going to be doing my ranking of the 2018 pay-per-views this year and like the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. The conclusion to my greatest tournament ever in WWE 2K19 history is going to be out in the next couple weeks. And then, after the greatest tournament ever is done, we figure out who the best WWE 2K19 character is. Universe is coming back. And with a slight twist, I changed things up a bit. So, yeah, be on the lookout for those three things. I might even bring back some NBA or FIFA, even though FIFA... Actually, I have uploaded FIFA. So maybe some of that, maybe some more Red Dead clips or videos. Who knows? But, yeah. Thanks for listening to this. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button so I know that you guys are actually listening to this stuff and caring about it. Leave some comments on what you think about the current WWE product and how it could improve and what your thoughts are going forward and like predictions for the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania and stuff like that. We're in the home stretch, almost on the road to WrestleMania. So hopefully the shows get better, but I doubt it. I'm not really watching Raw. SmackDown is the main show. And speaking of, even on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, SmackDown was still better than Raw. And it was like nobody's gonna care about these shows, but somehow SmackDown still managed to be better than Raw on Christmas. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at WGTime2AYNG. Links for stuff will be in the description. I'm never going to update that description, am I? I'm going to try to, but don't get your hopes up. But there are some good links in there. If not, just go to my channel and check out some other stuff that I have there. But hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.